Hello everyone and welcome. Super excited to host today's masterclass in which we'll talk about how to manage inventory efficiently in Monday.com, how to stay on top of your stock, avoid costly mistakes, and make your operations run smoothly. Hi, my name is Noam Lapidot from Sputnik, a Platinum Marketplace partner. Fun fact, I used to work at Monday.com for 5 years before I joined Sputnik. At Sputnik, our specialty is building apps that make Monday.com more powerful, flexible, and efficient for everyday users. We're actually the #1 selling developer in the entire Monday.com marketplace ecosystem, with award-winning apps including Superform and Supermail, two of the most popular and widely used tools in the marketplace. Today we're going to focus on inventory management on Monday.com. So what we're going to speak about today is firstly why even inventory management is so important, what makes it critical, and what happens when it's done poorly. Secondly, what makes a good inventory management system and what to look out for when you're exploring that. And the majority part of today's session, we're going to show you a live demo how to manage your inventory efficiently inside Monday.com. So, why inventory is so important? Why is it so critical? Did you know that poor inventory management costs businesses between 4 and 12% of their annual revenue? This means that a company could lose up to 10% of its revenue just because of stockouts or inaccurate tracking. On top of that, did you know that 30% of the customers switch to a competitor after encountering a stockout? So not only you lose a deal, you're also sometimes losing a long-term client. And studies show that advanced inventory monitoring can lower holding costs by around 25%, freeing up working capital and improving cash flow. So there's no questions that being on top of your inventory directly impacts your bottom line, and that's why it's important. So what makes a good inventory management tool? So 3 things I would focus on. Firstly, real-time visibility. You always know exactly how much stock you have at every point of time. Once you have that, you want to have smart alerts. So the system can notify you automatically when you're running low on stock. So you can act before it actually becomes a problem. And thirdly, ease of use and flexibility. The system must be intuitive and flexible. If it's too complicated, people just won't use it. If it's not tailored to the unique way you do business, it just won't work. And now we're going to move on to the live demonstration. Okay, so first things first, let's install the inventory app. So I'll go to the Monday Marketplace, I'll search for inventory, and then just follow the step to install it. Here it's already installed, so I'm going to save you that time. After you install it, usually automatically an inventory template will be installed. If not, you can also go to the template center, search for inventory, and look for the one by Sputnik and install the inventory template. Once that happens, you will get a full solution, a list of a few boards and a dashboard. The first one would be a getting started where you can see how very easy and simple how to use guide that you can use to learn more about the product. And then you have the inventory management dashboard. That's the main hub that you will use the app for. So let's understand what we're seeing in here. So when I'm starting to use inventory, the first thing I would see is the information which is critical for me. How many products do I have in stock? What is my total stock value? I can also keep track on my warehouse space utilization. Below that, I have a really nice and easy to view stock status widget. So I can see here, for example, how many of my products are currently in low stock or in out of stock. For example, I can see that Pilot Pen are currently in low stock because I only have 29 and I set the minimum level threshold to be 40. In the same manner, I can see I'm completely out of stock for sticky papers. Below that, I have my product catalog. This is the main widget from which we work from in order to update our stock. So let's see how we can update our stock. So let's say, for an instance, I'm using the inventory management for office supplies, and I'm organizing an event. And for that event, I want to take notebooks and pens. So I'm going to take out all the notebooks. I would use here minus in order to take out. You can see it would not let me take more than I actually have in stock. And I see I have 55 notebooks. I will take 10 from the stock. I will click next, and I will write a comment. What am I doing that for? So this would be for masterclass, and I'll click update stock. So now what will happen in the background is the system will create a record. It's very important to have a log history of all the stock update that we're doing, so we can go back and understand why things have changed and from what reason. So a new stock update will be created in the stock update board. So if I'll go to the stock update board, you can see the comment I just wrote, masterclass, and I can see that I took out 10 notebooks and 29 pilot pens. I can see the quantities before, the quantities after, so I have a complete log of everything I'm doing. Below the stock updates, we have what we call the transactions board, which is quite similar. Basically, we're taking what is being saved in here as sub-items and breaking it down into items. So here, when I go to this board and I'll scroll all the way down, I can see 2 items with the same comment, the masterclass, and both of them have the same stock update ID, only they have a different transaction ID. The reason why we're doing it is because from technical reasons, it's easier to do slice and dice and dashboards when you have this information saved as transactions. I can also view this information by stock updates. I can see transactions per product in here. I can see the recent transactions, so it's very easy to consume and see all the history of the transactions in my inventory management. If I'll go now back to my inventory management, there were some automations that ran behind the scenes, and I'm expecting to see that the quantities of the pilot pen and the notebooks has been changed. So you can see since I took out all the pilot pens, it's already labeled as out of stock, and the notebooks are already labeled as low stock because we went below the minimum threshold. Additionally, as discussed, we want to get push notifications on that. So if I'll go to my email, I would see here that I got an email push notification that we ran out of stock for the pilot pens, and also we're now in low stock for notebooks. Going back to the inventory management solution, so we saw the push notifications, we saw the real-time data. Now I'll go to my products board. In the products board, here I can see all the information, all the products that I have in my product catalog. For each of those products, I can see the current status, the category, the current quantity, SKUs. I can upload images in here, the volume, price per unit, and you can basically add here as much information as you want. So you can add here as many columns as you want, just as in every standard Monday.com board. If I'll go to the update section of a specific product, I can see in a really nice view the product details, and I can also see all the history of the transactions from that product. I can even see the one I just did, the masterclass, in the history of the transactions for that specific product. So what we saw so far is the main dashboard with the main information. We saw how you can easily do a stock update, and we got familiarized with the different boards. Now, let's talk about how to customize your product catalog and your stock updates. So let's say, for example, I want to know for each of my products what is the warranty date. So as mentioned before, I can add here a new column. I would add a new date column. I will call it warranty date. I will fix it, and I can add here specific dates, doesn't really matter. So I want to know for each product what is the warranty date. That's one thing I want to do. And the second thing is I want that every time I'm doing a stock update, it's never happening in a void. I'm doing that related to a specific project or to a specific customer. So I now go to the stock updates board and will add here a new column, a connect board column that will be connected to a different board that I have for projects, which can be anywhere in my Monday system. So I'll add a connect board column here. I'll search for my projects. It could be orders or customers, it doesn't really matter. And I'll choose here the board, I'll connect it, and now I can choose for specific stock updates, I can choose projects. Now, let's see how this works in my inventory management dashboard. I would also need to set up the display in my product catalog widget. So the way to do that is clicking on the three dots on the right hand side of the widget, settings, and I will just add the columns I added. So I will add the projects to the stock update, and I will add the warranty date to my product catalog, so I can already see it live here in my product catalog. And now every time I will do a stock update with whatever quantity, and I'll click next, I would see that I also need now to choose to which project this is related to, and that will now appear in my stock updates board as well. So I'll go to my stock updates, and now I can see that the new one has been created with the related project to that stock update. Okay, so we talked about how you can customize your stock updates. Now, probably the question you're asking yourself is, how do I set it up initially and adding my products? So super easy to add your products. You can either go to the products board and add one by one. You can also do it from the inventory management dashboard. There is a form if you want to add them through the form one by one. You just click in here, add new product, and once the form will be loaded, you can add here your new products with all the different fields. But the best way I would recommend is to use an Excel. I'm assuming you have a lot of products, so you can also import that from Excel. It's a standard Monday functionality. So by clicking on the three dots on the right-hand side and more actions, import products, and just go by this wizard, and you can import all your products at once to the system. Now, after we imported our products, we customized the process that we want. Few questions that are being asked. So we talked about at the beginning that we want the system to be customizable and flexible to your own business needs. So a frequent asked question is, how do I connect the system to other systems? How do I integrate it? So let's say, for example, you might be using Shopify or QuickBooks, and you don't want to enter the stock updates manually through our widget, but you want that to be entered automatically, either from another system, or maybe you're doing that in a different board, something that looks like this, an order board with different statuses, and you have here the products, and you want that to feed automatically into the inventory management. No problem. We build the inventory solution in a way that it would be easy to integrate with and flexible. Basically, all you have to do is to make sure that you're adding a new item into the transaction board with the product name to be exactly, the item name needs to be exactly as the product name, and the quantity minus if you're taking out, the amount if you're taking out, and plus if you're adding in. Just for the sake of the example, this can be an automation from a different board or an integration from a different system, or it can just be in a form. I will show you this in this example how to do it from Superform. Why am I using Superform? Because it allows me to choose the item name from another board. So I will choose here, take out notebooks, -5, and that would be masterclass Superform example. And what will happen now is that basically a new record would be created in the transactions board, just with the name and the amount. And you can see that in the background, automation starting to run, that updating the quantities before, the quantity after, and from here it will also go and update the products board quantity as well. So this is how you can integrate inventory with other systems or boards. Another frequently asked question is, what happens if I have more than one facility, more than one warehouse? I have multiple warehouses, multiple sites, and I want to keep track on all of them in one place. No problem, we can support that as well. The best practice would be to install several inventory templates, and it would look something like this, okay? I would have 2 templates. I can rename them. I basically just install an hybrid template as I showed you at the beginning. You can rename the template name to whatever you want, and then each template has their own dashboard, their own product board, and they basically run independently. They can have the same products, and now you can manage each of them independently and see how much stock you have for each of them. At the end, if you want to see all the information from all warehouses in one place, you can create a new dashboard that will pull information from both of those instances into one place. And now I can see all the information in one place. So for example, I have the stock status widget, so I can see that in warehouse 1, I'm running low on sticky papers, and in warehouse 2, I'm running low on notebooks. I can also see that here. I can see the quantities I have for sticky papers in warehouse 1 and how much I have in warehouse 2. So I can see all the information in one place, either in a chart view. You can also see that in a table view. So here I can see all my products in warehouse 1, all my products in warehouse 2. So there's numerous ways where you can basically consume that information in one place. So this is how to manage multiple sites in one inventory management system. Next frequent asked question is, what if I have not consumable inventory, but I rather have serial number inventory? Okay, so I want to keep track not only whenever someone takes out inventory, I also want to know where each of my inventory is at every point of time. A classic use case would be for IT management. I have an office and I have laptops and monitors which I give each of my employees, but I expect them when they leave the company to give it back to me. So I want to know exactly how much I have from each. So for this, we have a separate template. We call it asset management. Essentially, you go to the template center, you search for asset, and you install the one by Spotnik, and then you will get the following. It looks very similar to the inventory management with one differentiation. Here, I have my inventory asset catalog. I would see that I have here MacBook in stock, Lenovo is out of stock, and I have a few Windows. When I click on an asset, I can drill down. So here I would see all the different serial numbers. So I have 3 of those MacBook Pro. One of them is already in use, and I have 2 available. So I can assign them to the new employee. So I will assign to a new employee 1 MacBook Pro. I can also assign him Windows. It could be to a new employee or to a customer. And I'll click next. And in this case, I would want to assign it to myself, masterclass asset, and I'll click update stock. In a similar manner, how we saw in the inventory template, here will be created what we call an asset update. So we would see here below that this inventory has been assigned. And if I'll go to my assets board, I would also see here all my assets and their availability. You can see that 2 that were available now jumped into the in-use group. I can also keep track on my asset ages and to see to what product they're related to. If I'll go to the product details, I would also see the history of all the transactions. So I have all this information available. The main differentiation between the asset and the inventory is here we can keep track on serial numbers, and I have a board for assets and I have a board for my asset products. And they are interconnected with one another. Next, frequent asked questions. What if I want to update my stock via QR or barcode? So no problem, we support that as well. If maybe you noticed in the product catalog widget, you have here a small button, scan QR barcode. The way that it works is whenever you click on it, a camera would be open. If you're using your mobile, you can just relate the QR barcode to the camera and it will automatically scan it. Once you scan it, it will automatically appear in here, the product that you scanned with -1. You can also change the default settings. If you go to the scan QR barcode, click on the settings, you can set up the default thing that would happen once the QR code has been scanned. Another frequent asked question, how do I organize my warehouse so I know which products are where in my warehouse? So for this is why we have the warehouse board. Essentially, this is the map of your warehouse, and it's completely customizable. You can determine how you want that to look like. So you might have 3 aisles, and of course you can change the namings and the shelf numbers, and you can set up for each one of those the capacity level, and all the rest will be in the minimum level, and all the rest will be updated automatically. For each shelf or container or space, basically you can say which products are sitting there. So this is connected to the products board. You can also do it the other way around. From the products board, you can say this product needs to be in shelf 2, aisle 2, and you know what, also to be spreaded in aisle 1, shelf 2. So this is how I'm keeping track on my warehouse, and eventually all of that is trickling back into this nice widget in my inventory warehouse. Last frequent asked question is, what if I have more complex products? So I have an assembly or a kit, so you can manage that as well. Essentially, the way to do it is to create an item with sub-items in the products board. So in this example, I have not only notebooks and sticky papers, I also have a kit which includes 1 notebook and 2 sticky papers. So I can set it up in the products board, and then this is being managed exactly as every other product. It has its own product quantity and minimum level. Another frequently asked question is about the pricing. So our business model is based on consumption. It doesn't matter how many users you have or what Monday plan you have. It's based on how many products you manage in your inventory management system. You can start and try it out for free up to a certain amount of products, and all the rest of our packages you can find are completely transparent. You can find it in the Monday marketplace. Just go in there, search for inventory, and you would see all the different options that you have. So why the inventory apps works. First of all, you have real-time visibility. At every point of time, you know exactly how much stock you have. Not only that, the system gives you push notifications to know when you're running on low stock and to make sure that that doesn't become a problem. And thirdly, which I hope you saw during the demo, the system is very intuitive, easy to use, and flexible, so it can work for your own business-specific needs. I am inviting you to try it out for free. Just scan this barcode right now from the screen. Alternatively, you can also just search in the marketplace inventory by Spotnik, and you will find it, and you can try it out for free, and if you want to continue using it. On top of that, I'm also reminding you Spotnik is the #1 developer in the marketplace. We have more great apps for you to try out and to make your Monday processes more efficient. You can see them now on the screen and try them out for free as well. Thank you everyone for staying with me so far. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to send your questions. You can also do a Loom recording and send it to support@spotnik.com, and our team would be happy to assist. Thank you again, and have a great rest of the day.